On this training, we're going to be telling you or show you or teaching you the requirement to get a fintech limited license in Nigeria. So this fintech limited license is going to help you to either operate a kind of a business that has to do with mobile money system. So we're going to be looking at the requirement to get a fintech related license in Nigeria. What are the things you need to get started if you want to run a fintech company in Nigeria? Why am I making this video? The answer is very simple. Most people that come to my DM, they say want to start something that relate to like a fintech solution. They want to start a banking agency system. They want to start something like OPay or Flutterwave. As in, there's a lot of questions coming to my DM. So I decided to make this a comprehensive video training that give you the insight of how to kickstart the process. Now, there's difference between developing an application that gears towards fintech solution. Okay, it is totally different from the obtaining the license that enable you to operate as a fintech company in Nigeria. So we are diving in the process. But then remember, this particular training may be updated as like the licenses or the what's called the thing I'm going to be mentioning here maybe may change with time. Okay, but at the moment this is exactly what is required. Okay, so CBN may come and they say okay, they are no longer as like there is also there may be a different fee attached to what I'm saying. That's what exactly what I'm trying to say here. So before I proceed, please do it to subscribe to the channel, like and share this video. Okay, making subscribe to the channel will give you keep it posted when we have content like this. So and also take action to get started with any of the businesses we have on the channel, so that you can get started. Because going through our technical training or maybe a free training like this without starting the business is as good as not doing the as in going not going through the training. So make sure that you follow suit as we proceed. Now, for those of you that are coming to our DM to ask of some of the questions that has to do with fintech startups in Nigeria, this training is for you, right? So now, compliance is a critical issue in the incorporation and operation of a startup. To operate with ease and prevent unnecessary sanctions, fintech startups need to understand the regulatory provisions of the country they operate. So sometimes, if you dive into the starting the fintech company without what's it called having this in check in mind, you may be faced with sanction. That's exactly what we are saying here. Okay, the regulatory agencies, Nigeria startup must pay attention to at different stage of their operations and growth. Are the okay? Now we're looking at those regulatory agencies body and what are those that you need to actually get the license. The primary one, which I expect every person that want to start either a telecommunication business or a fintech solution business to have in Nigeria, is what? The Corporate Affairs Commission. Okay, the Corporate Affairs Commission is a kind of a Nigerian what's called agency that enable any businesses to operate. So you need to have a license. Okay, after that we have the federal and state inland revenue, which is FRS. It's very important to have the license. Okay. Now the Nigeria Social Insurance Trust Fund, which is NSIFTF. Okay, National Office of Technology Acquisition and Promotion, which is no TAP. So these are the agencies that are responsible as like Economic, Financial and Crime Commission is also one of the agencies that enable you to operate smoothly in the country Nigeria. So you need to have these licenses if you want to run a fintech solution, okay, in Nigeria. Being compliant not only makes startup meet federal and state law, it also tells investor that want to go as like want to partner with you that the startup takes risk management seriously and make it easier for entrepreneur customers who require their startup vendors to have a security framework in place. So what are we saying here? We're saying that when someone, if you have a license back you up from the CSC to the highest level, depending on the kind of fintech you want to venture into, I'm going to be showing you that in this training. You see that people will trust you because you are a licensed what's called company or organization. Okay. Now, remember, the body that is responsible for any licenses in Nigeria is the CBN. Where the CBN is the Central Bank of Nigeria. So everything has to do with licenses are regulated by the CBN. So take that as a reference point. Whatever we're going to be saying on this training, we're going to be referring to CBN, okay, as which is the Central Bank of Nigeria. They are the one that is giving this kind of regulatory license to get started as a fintech company. Okay, for fintech startups specifically, the regulators are the Central Bank of Nigeria, just like I said. Now, there's also another regulatory body, which of course you need to get to understand, which is National Deposit Insurance Corporation, which is NDIC. You can Google any of these licenses to understand how the modalities and how they operate. Okay, now we also have the Security and Exchange Commission, right, which is SEC. Okay, Nigerian Interbank Settlement, which is NIBSS. Okay, if you look at sometimes some of these applications you use, maybe OPay or any of these, you see that sometimes they will tell you that the NIBSS is down or something. So what does it really mean? It means Nigerian Interbank Settlement System. So you need to have the license for these regulatory bodies. Okay, the license on fintech startup obtained determine how they operate. Okay, the license you have determine what you can do. On this article, we are going to focus on a 5 category of fintech in Nigeria, which include payment service bank. So there is what to call payment service bank, which is PSBS, okay, or payment service provider, okay, PSP. Digital bank, lending, credit startup, and what. This training will divide into two if we cannot able to cover it on this first. But let's see how we can go on this. So let's take the first one, which is the payment service bank. The payment service bank that's the PS what B. The payment service bank are bank tax with increasing financial inclusions in Nigeria. The PSBS provide banking services to rural areas through the use of technologies and agency banking. The minimum share capital of PSB in Nigeria is at the moment is what 5 billion naira. To obtain a PSB license in Nigeria, a startup must, as in like if you want to go in for a PSB kind of startup in Nigeria, what are the things you need to do? One is that you need to submit an application to CBN. Okay, that's the first thing. You need to submit an application to CBN with a proposed memorandum of associations and a proposed name of the company. Pay an application fee of 500,000 naira. So you can see this is the CBN. You need to always go to the official page of CBN. Don't go to any other place, which is CBN is cbn.gov.ng. Okay, you can also ask questions, call their support line. Okay, they always reach out in terms of like, okay, I want to, with a specific kind of things you want to do, like you want to now payment service bank, you want to start a startup that has to do with payment service bank. They will show you the process and procedure to follow, because in this training we're not going to show you the processes, how to submit the form. We're just like giving you an elaborate view of how the whole process will look like. Then after you must have paid this fee, which is 500k, after the CBN receives the application within 90 days, the CBN will either approve or disapprove the application. Where the CBN approve, then the CBN will issue a notice of approval in principle. Okay, they will tell you that okay, this they have been accepted, right? Now then you then apply for the final license within the 6 months, registering the company with the company documents, such as documents include the certificate of registration of the company from the CAC, because you need to also apply to register the business with the Corporate Affairs Commission. Okay, now you pay the sum of what 2 million naira as the final license fee. That is for people that want to go for payment service bank. Okay, now, payment service provider is totally different. Look at the requirements. I'm taking it one after the other. You can see it here. Payment service bank are non-bank fintech startups that offer various financial services. They are divided into 6 categories based on the type of service they provide. For fintech startups specifically, the regulatory are the Central Bank of Nigeria, as I said before, National Deposit Insurance Corporations, Security and Exchange Commission, Nigerian Interbank Settlement System. Okay. Now, the type of fintech PSPS in Nigeria are switching and processing mobile money operators, payment solution services, payment terminal services providers, payment solution service providers, and super agents. Here are the procedure for obtaining the license of each of the PSP fintech company. Now, one is the switching and processing. For we to better understand this, the switching and processing fintech company provide the process of financial transactions. Example in Nigeria include Flutterwave, the one you have, maybe you are aware of Flutterwave. That is what the Flutterwave is, a switching and processing kind of what's it called, a startup. Okay. Now we have the interswitch and also the pay stack. Okay, everybody understand what is called pay stack. So for instance, you want to open something that looks like Flutterwave or pay stack. That's what we're saying in this training. What are the things you need to do? And apart from engaging a company that can be able to build the application for you. For instance, you want to get something like Paystack, our company can handle development of technology like this, like Paystack for you. But the problem is not all about having the technology being developed. The problem is that you need to have a license that will enable you to operate as a switching and processing fintech solution. Okay. Now, the registration of the company with the code, that's what are the things you need to do to obtain the license. Okay. So the procedure for obtaining a switching and a processing license include registration of the company with the Corporate Affairs Commission. Okay, the minimum share capital of switching and processing company is 2 billion naira. An application must be made to the CBN with all their company documents. The application fee is 100,000, while the license fee is 1 million naira. What it means is to say, what we mean to say here is that if you want to get a what's called payment processing switching services like Paystack, for instance, the process to get started, one, I will also recommend, which is not even included in this training, is one, is for you to actually get the platform running. Okay. Engage a developer, a web developer company. We can also contact us for that. Build the system before you now begin to approach it with that brand, because that will also give the authorities that okay, these guys know what they are doing. Okay, they already have a brand. That is how each of these payment systems like Paystack, Flutterwave, they all started in that perspective. They first of all initially developed the system and then begin to work towards licensing it. Okay, why am I saying that? Because I've been old in the industry, so I know when all this thing, fintech solution startup came into the picture. So they first of all build the system and then go for the license. So I will also expect to do the same. Hire a web developer company that can do that for you. We can also do it. All you have to do is to point the one that you think you want to do and let us know, and then we'll get it done for you. So, but then it's totally different. The fee you're paying a web developer company is totally different from what we're saying. Okay, the web developer company can charge you 3 million, 5 million, 8 million, depending on even 10 million to even 50 million, depending on what you want to build. But what we're saying in this video is that we can help you build any of these fintech startup, and that is what we're saying in this video. Okay. Now, another sector on this is the mobile money operators. Mobile money operators enable customers to engage in financial activities through the use of their mobile phone like USSD. Example is MTN Momo, Epaga, Money, okay, or Pay. Okay, the process of obtaining a mobile money operator's license is registration of the company with its corporate affairs commissions. The minimum share capital is 2 billion. An application was made to the CBN with a complete document. The application fee is 100,000, while the license fee is 1 million. Payment terminal service provider. Payment terminal service providers are fintech company licensed to provide POS, as like you want to start a POS business terminal. Okay, support and maintenance services. Example of POS in Nigeria is what? Interswitch Limited, okay, and all the rest. Okay, to obtain a license, like you want to start a POS kind of fintech solution, you need to register a company with corporate affairs commission. Then the minimum share capital of this is 100 million. An application must be made to the CBN with all their company documents. The application fee is 100,000, while the license fee is 1 million. Then payment service provider, that is PSSP. Payment service provider are fintech companies that act as fund collectors on behalf of their customer. They service mostly the interests of merchants, but enabling payment through the web. Popular example are Paystack, Flutter with an switch. So just like I said, you want to start something that looks like Paystack, we can get you started. Just have to DM us and those want to get something that looks like Paystack. Okay, we can get that done for you. So it means you are falling in the category of a payment solution service provider, which is PSSP. Okay, the process of obtaining apart from development as like developing the solution, not that the procedure of what you need to have in place, apart from hiring a web agency company or developer to do that for you, which in this case you can hire us for that. The minimum share capital or payment solution, you need to have to incorporate the business with corporate affairs commission. The minimum share capital or payment solution service provider company is 100 million. An application must be made to the CBN with all accompanied documents. The application fee is 100,000, while the license fee is 1 million. Okay, so it goes further to digital bank. A digital bank primarily operates banking activity through a technology, especially a mobile phones or a computer device, rather than a physical office. Popular digital bank are Kuda Bank, V Bank, and Yo. So if you have interest of starting a digital bank, we can get it done for you. We can actually get it done for you fast as soon as anything. Even a lending or credit fintech startup, we can also get that done for you, like Fair Money, where people can come and borrow money. Okay. Now you can see example of what's it called a mobile money operating business like OP. So if you need something like this, then you can DM us for us to get started. As in terms of like, okay, consult us for just hit the consultation line there so that we can actually get your business startup. But what we're doing on this training is that getting this either or any of this solution is not all about building solution, is to meet up the requirement license, which I've also made references on this video. But then if you are a startup that, okay, I don't have all this, okay, but I really want to start a business that does not require much of these licenses, okay, for a start, you can get started right away by having, instead of approaching CBN for all these kind of licenses and all the rest, why can't you start a very simple business model, which is telecommunication? Okay, you can see here we have example of it is like cash alert. You can see it, you can go check it out. You can start with as little as 100,000, depending on the package. You can start with as little as 200, 500,000, and then get started. And this particular solution give you you don't need to, nobody is sanctioning you for the meantime. So I will encourage you to check it out and then get started. You can go check it out and DM us and say, okay, I want to start a telecom business in Nigeria, and then we can get you started. But if you are still proceeding to getting this requirement license, there's no problem. Forge ahead and get the license, and also contact us or consult us for how to get the startup, as like how to build the application before you approach any of these authority. My name is Shedrach, and I believe you have learned one or two on this training. I'm going to see you in the next one. Thanks and God bless.